across the South Coast, live from Solent University. You're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Solent Sports News. It's 3 o'clock and I'm Oliver Denning with all your sports stories throughout the day. There's breaking news regarding the takeover of Manchester United. Reports suggest that Qatar's Sheikh Jassim will make his second bid this Wednesday. Delegations for the two parties have held very positive talks last week. The growing feeling among all bidders for the club is that the Glazers have become more serious about selling. At the other end of the table, Southampton Football Club sit bottom of the Premier League going into the international break. The Saints did manage an inspired comeback at the weekend, however, to gain a point in a 3-3 thriller against the travelling Spurs. This draw is crucial for the side's mentality for when they return. Our football correspondent Max Timms has more.
Yes, thank you, Ollie. Well, what a game it was, with Tottenham 3-1 up, but the Saints coming back to earn a vital draw. This was thanks to a 93rd minute penalty scored by James Ward-Prowse. However, the penalty was a dubious one, but a draw was the least that the Saints deserved. The point doesn't move Southampton's position, but does show the progress they have made under Ruben Selles. For Tottenham, the reaction was quite different and extreme, as manager Antonio Conte said his players only play for themselves and don't want to play under pressure.
Tottenham story is this: 20 years that there is the owner and never won something. But why? The fault is only for the club or for every manager that stay here. You risk to disrupt the figure of the manager and to protect the other situation.
Some unfortunate news post-match, however, as 10 arrests have been made on suspicion of violent disorder. Police were called at 6:05 p.m. to Oxford Street, where chairs, tables and glasses were thrown. Police said it was a frightening experience for bystanders. Sticking with the football, there was red mist against Red Devils for Fulham, as they suffered 3 red cards, including the manager, in the space of just 2 minutes. The match finished 3-1 to Manchester United, who now progress into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Fulham boss Marco Silva said he spoke to Alexander Mitrovic on controlling his emotions.
I saw the image, of course, and I already spoke with Mitro, of course, in that situation. It's a moment for him to control the emotions of the game. Of course, he pushed the referee in that moment. I didn't see that he's in a bad way like you are saying to me.
In the Six Nations, Ireland beat England to secure both a historic Grand Slam win as well as a flawless Six Nations victory. England fullback Freddie Stewart was sent off during the match, which made Ireland's win inevitable. Newly appointed head coach Steve Borthwick will have lots to do to prepare for the Rugby World Cup after suffering heavy losses in the Six Nations. Aston Martin driver Fernando Alonso has been restored of his third-place finish at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen has put his Red Bull Racing team on blast to sort out the issues he had during qualifying. This meant he could only catch up to P2. There won't be any complaints from his teammate Sergio Perez, though, as he saw his first Grand Prix win of the season. This is a car that F1 commentator Ted Kravitz thinks is superior to the rest of the field.
Lots of people will be looking at the Red Bull and saying, how are they able to gain nearly 20 miles an hour advantage on the straight from anybody else? Are they doing something with that rear wing that not only stalls out the rear wing, of course, but also stalls out the floor or other aerodynamics around the car?
UFC welterweight champion Leon Rocky Edwards defended his title against Kamaru Usman, winning on majority decision. The outspoken Colby Covington is said to be next in line for the shot at the title. However, the Birmingham kickboxer has said he doesn't think Covington has been active enough to be deserving of the fight. And Brighton owner Tony Bloom has added to his sporting success this year as his horse Energumene triumphed in the Queen Mother Champion Chase at Cheltenham Festival. He is thought to be the punter who placed 2 bets on his horse, making a profit of £830,000. I'm joined by a horse racing correspondent, Will Harris, on how Bloom's day went.
Yeah, it was a fantastic week at Cheltenham, with Constitution Hill and Honeysuckle stealing the headlines. But for the Brighton and Hove Albion owner, Tony Bloom, it was all about Energumene. The 6-5 favourite, who had a brilliant ride under jockey Paul Townend, stormed home by 10 lengths to win the Queen Mother Champion Chase, landing the 225 grand prize pot, beating season-long rivals Edwardstone and Editor de Geet. After Bloom's profitable day, the excitement wasn't over as he hopped onto his helicopter and flew to the Amex to watch his beloved Seagulls defeat rivals Crystal Palace 1-0.
Thanks for that, Will. That's all from us now. I'll be back in an hour with our final bulletin with all your sports stories throughout the day. Goodbye.